Hello. Today we're going to do a quick follow-up to my original tutorial on Twitter. Show you some of the basic features and also some additional features based on some of the feedback and comments that I've gotten. I want to be going into a little more detail specifically on the use of TweetDeck. So again, if you've not been to twitter.com, that's the place that you'll start. Up here in the corner, obviously you'll go through the sign-up procedures, get a username, all that kind of information. Once you sign up, you'll go to your home screen, as you can see here. And this is a timeline, and this is where all the people that post things, people that I follow, is going to show up here in the timeline. Now, you can kind of think about this in terms of Facebook and people that you're friends with. When they post things, it shows up on your wall. Similar concept here, obviously much smaller, much shorter, the 140 characters being the limit on a tweet. Now, I don't use Twitter, the actual website, very often, hardly at all, but a couple things that I can do, if I can move to the top here. Okay, now that I'm up here, you've got some things underneath me here about who to follow. You have your home screen and you have your profile. You can click those various things, but you also have the search bar where you can enter somebody's name, and then it will search through Twitter and find them, and you can see their profile and if you want to follow them or not. And then also will look at people that you follow, and it can do things based on similar people that you might want to follow. But I'll get to how I pick my followers later on. So the next thing we're going to go to, okay, yes, TweetDeck.com. Now this is the website that you can download the TweetDeck application for your computer. If we move down again, okay, here we go. This is where you can choose what platform, if you're going to use it on an iPad, an iPod, a PC, a Mac, whatever the case might be. I use it on a PC, so I don't know if it'll look exactly the same as what you do. So go ahead and click it. It's a free download. It'll install the software on your computer. Once you download it and go ahead and open it, which should come up behind me here, here we go. The first time you look at TweetDeck, very overwhelming. A lot of information, a lot of these columns you see behind me. I'll explain how the columns work. To start with, you'll probably see this column here that is your the followers, the people you're following are going to go here. You'll see another column where it will have mentions, people that use your name or reference your name, your Twitter hashtag or your Twitter username will show up in here, and I'll talk about that in a second. And then I have another one here that is the Ed Chat. The Ed Chat is a educational chat that uses the hashtag feature that helps you search for things, which again, I will explain that here in a little bit. This is what TweetDeck looks like, and again, overwhelming to start. So I'm going to shrink myself for a second. Okay, and then come up here on the top, and you can see here, this is the bar. This is where you will enter your tweets. Pretty simple concept. And you'll type things here, hit enter, hit send over there, and the send, and it's going to put it out in a Twitterverse, and anybody that's following you is going to see that tweet. You'll also see some options over there. You can import movies, you can put photos into your tweet and things like that if you need to, but all those options are there. Alright, so let's take a look at an actual tweet and what you can do with this. So I'm going to make a tweet here come up behind me. Okay, here's one of the people that I follow. He's a phenomenal educator. Kyle Pace is his name, and here's a tweet that he had posted. And when you move your mouse over this side of the tweet, you will see some options come up. One of the options is reply. Okay, so if somebody posts a tweet, you can click that, it'll automatically populate the top. Okay, I'll automatically fill in this reply with that person's username, and you can type your message, and it's going to show up in their mentions column, so they'll know that you replied to that tweet that they had posted. Another thing you can do, and this is probably one of the more popular functions within Twitter, is the retweet. And I'll explain how you can see those in a second. But again, over here, you'll have one of the options is to retweet this tweet. And that essentially means send it right back out. It will copy the exact tweet that is here, and it will send it right back out with a little RT in it saying retweet, meaning, you know what, this is a really cool thing I want to share, because although Kyle has a very big following, there might be people following me that don't follow him, and therefore that people, the circle of people that are seeing this tweet gets bigger and bigger and bigger, which is really the power of Twitter, sharing resources, sharing ideas. So by retweeting, you're sharing that idea beyond just the original person and people that followed him or her. Another thing you can do is this little envelope icon, and this is a direct message. When you put a tweet out, it goes to everybody in Twitter. They can technically see it. Obviously, the people that follow you are going to see it, but people could search and find it. But if you do the direct message, you can directly message this person, and it will send a message to them. They will be the only one that sees it. It's directly between the two of you, and nobody else sees it. So that's probably if you're sharing more personal information, if you want to send an email to set up something with a meet or something like that, then that'd be the way to go about doing it, because that is more of a private communication. And then there's another option, and it's other actions, and there's a few drop-down menus that'll come up if you go in there, do a reply all, you can delete a tweet, things like that. But you can definitely see some of the other options on there. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at some of the language. A lot of people that get into Twitter and into TweetDeck, they start seeing all these things, they don't understand what it means. It's like learning a foreign language. So if I step over here, this is a tweet that was posted not too long ago, depending on when you're watching this, by a guy that I follow on Twitter by the name of George, and he's a phenomenal principal up in Canada, and I highly encourage you to follow him. But here you see a couple things. The first thing you're going to see is this RT, which means retweet. And that means that he retweeted something that somebody had posted. And so next to it you will see an @ sign. Okay, and then you'll see an MCLEOD, and that's a username. So anytime you put that @ sign in front of the username, that is a tag. And so that user will see it show up in their mentions, and they know that somebody posted something in reference to them. And then you will see my username on there is Stump Teacher with the @ sign, because mine was the original post. So the @ sign is a username indicator. And then toward the bottom you'll see the actual link to a blog post. And the nice thing about TweetDeck is you enter in a URL and it automatically shortens it, which helps because of your limited 140 characters when you're putting a tweet out. And then after the link you're going to see, if I move over here, these hashtags, that # sign. And on this particular one you see EdChat and NTChat and CPChat. And if you're new, you have no idea what those mean. And I'm going to explain those in a little bit. But those things are also there, and those are helpful for searches. So let's talk about these hashtags, okay? A hashtag is a way, and the best way I can describe it, being from Chicago, if I was in Soldier Field and it was filled to capacity with people, and I wanted to quickly know who in this building, in the stadium, was talking about the Chicago Bears, for instance, probably everybody. And everybody that's talking about Chicago Bears holds up a big blue flag. And I know everybody that's got the blue flag up is talking about the Chicago Bears, and I know who I can grab and what I can listen to. And let's say there was another topic, a different color flag, but you could visibly see who was talking about what. Well, the hashtags work the same way. If you see a hashtag, it can mean that people are referencing a certain particular group of people or an idea. EdChat is probably one of the most popular ones that I've come across in Twitter for teachers, and it's educational chat, discussions or topics that have to do with education in general. There's a new teacher chat, NT-chat. There's pretty much all the subject areas, social studies, math, special education, new teachers, I think I mentioned. CP chat is connected principals. So there's a lot of them. So the next question, of course, is, well, how do I find out about these chats, and how do I know which hashtags to follow and all that kind of stuff? Well, thank God there's an amazing man named Jerry out there, CyberryMan1 on Twitter, and I'll post his username right here. Okay, he has a website. Here we go. If you go to this website, which again I'll put across the bottom like a great infomercial, he has a listing on this website. If you scroll down, all the hashtags that are out there on education that he's aware of, and he's pretty much on top of everything that is Twitter, are on his website. And in addition, you will see when they have certain times that they have chats. For example, Social Studies has a Monday night chat. So every week on Monday, and I believe it's at 7 o'clock depending on your time zone, they have a topic that is social studies teacher related that they talk about. And so people just put that hashtag on their tweets and it goes to that search, and you can see that. So then how do we get this all to work with TweetDeck? Well, if we go back to TweetDeck and I get small again and we go up here, you can see this little plus sign, okay, in TweetDeck. And if you click that, it'll take you to here, okay? And on here, what you can see is some of the ones that I've actually already created. So if you want to be a follower or get a column in TweetDeck just for EdChat, okay, or social studies chat, or new teacher chat, whatever one you find that fits your role, you enter it in there, the hashtag and EdChat or whatever it is, hit enter, and then we go back here, now we're back in Twitter, and you can see over here, I already had EdChat there, but it puts a column here for you. So even people that you're not following, that are putting things with that hashtag, it's going to show up here. So that really broadens your ability to see literally thousands of people's posts you may not necessarily be following. However, if you start following things and you start reading things that are being posted in these columns, that's kind of how you pick up followers. You'll see people that are constantly posting things and you'll think to yourself, man, they got some great stuff. This is an excellent resource. I need to follow everything they're posting, maybe not just the ones that are in here. And that's kind of how I pick up followers. And if we go back to, let's get George, here we go. If we click George's info here, and you click over here at the tweet, you'll see his username down here at the bottom. And if you click on that, it'll bring up his profile. And in his profile, I can see the people that he's following. And that can kind of help me figure out, you know what, if he's following them, and I know that he's a pretty on top of things and a person that I can agree with, you know, educationally, then I might want to follow some of the people that he is following. And that's kind of one of the ways you can go ahead and pick up followers. Now, in terms of Twitter, as I've told a lot of people that I have talked to about Twitter and the power of Twitter, because it really truly is a powerful you know, social media, but also just a collaboration tool, you know, that really breaks down boundaries. And I kind of have 3 steps in use of Twitter. And the first thing is, when you get on, is to read. Read anything you can. Read blog posts. You know, read the tweets. Read the resources. Everything that people are posting, just read and kind of consume that. The second thing is to start retweeting. You see things you like, as the example here, and just hit that retweet button and send that back out. Because people like to see their stuff being retweeted, because that tells them that people are reading it, they're agreeing with it, and that's how people might start following you, because they see that you're sending stuff back out. And then the third step that I personally think is then you start writing and start contributing to the community. And that's through a blog. You start your own blog, writing about whatever you're passionate about in your teaching or in your role as an administrator, a counselor, whatever the case might be. And then you can post your blog and tweet those things out for other people to read and other people to benefit from. And then the last thing, and this is probably the one thing that most people struggle with, is who do I follow? You know, I've come across people on Twitter that are following 3,000, 4,000 people. Myself, I follow a little under 200 people, because to me that's all I can handle. And I want to be able to get the most out of my use, so I really am very picky about the people I follow, because I'm only going to follow people that their work relates to my work, and then I can pull resources from and have conversations with, and will make what I do better. So the way to go about following people, I'm going to step out of the way here, but here is a listing of people that I follow that I found to be very, very useful resources in terms of their administrators. They're very passionate and innovative in their work, or teachers that are phenomenal in their sharing of what goes on in their classroom, on their blog, or some of these guys are really good about posting resources in all subject matter. So here's kind of a good place that I would go ahead and start and see who they're following and kind of build it from there. And in closing, I would say that Twitter is a phenomenal tool, and anybody that doesn't think so, well, they probably haven't given it enough time and tried it. Because the first time I was on it, I was very overwhelmed, I was very confused, and I thought it was something that Kim Kardashian and LeBron James did. But that's definitely not the case. It is a tool that teachers across the world are using, and if you give it a chance, I guarantee you that it'll be something that you won't be able to imagine your life without it.